got some stuff to talk about. A little bit of fallout from Crown Jewel. We're also going to talk about Cena's last four appearances, from my understanding, and a little bit of that Andrade drama. And otherwise, what do you think about Crown Jewel?
Overall, I thought Crown Jewel was pretty good. Match of the night was not the one I expected. I thought the women's match was going to be match of the night. Of course, because Io and Rhea usually put out pretty good matches, so I expected them to put out a pretty good match, which they did. Don't get me wrong. They did put out a pretty good match. But that wasn't match of the night for me. AJ and Cena. Pretty good match.
Who called that, actually? Who said it was
I
going to be match of the
wonder.
night?
I wonder.
Ah. Maybe that's why the guys didn't want to show up tonight, because
maybe,
you know, we were talking about, like, you know, our picks and all that good stuff, and you know, I guess I gotta, like, you know, I gotta throw out the dubs and, like, eat some dubs here tonight.
Take it,
a little
take
late
your,
night
take it,
snack.
take
Yeah.
it, take your strut, take your strut.
You know, gotta take them when I get them, right? But hey, no, jokes aside, you know, I think Crown Jewel, I thought it was cool. I think because the narrative that we constantly talk about here is, you know, we got so many PLEs, and it doesn't feel like some of them stand out like the major ones, and it almost feels like one of those weekly episodic shows like a Raw or SmackDown. Maybe it's like a really good one versus like, it just kind of like falls in place with the rest of them. But yes, I think when we look at the card, right, like there was just 5 matches, and what I would say was the surprise for me was, you know, even though I picked them, Bronson Reed actually getting the W over Roman Reigns there. You know, that's probably the biggest win of his WWE career, getting one on the Tribal Chief, you know. And I think here that ending, right, where you had Roman and kind of like talking to the twins and letting them know, like, I don't want to see you till Christmas. It's quite interesting, and I want to say, like, it's one of those things where I want to be able to say, I hope there's a payoff to that, right? Hopefully there's going to be a lead into something because of that. But at the same time, you know, looking back at that match, I felt like it was a good way for Roman to take an L, only because it wasn't like a straight up 1-on-1 matchup. And at that match itself, you know, it really showed that, hey, you know, these guys were going to get involved. And, you know, me speaking about the Bronze here, and then Usos getting involved. So to me, it just felt like one of those scenarios like, well, you know what, Roman's going to probably take an L only because these circumstances are surrounding it. At the end of the day, it's not a clean L, in my opinion, but hey, not taking anything away from Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed got the dub right there. So we got somebody that joined us.
Welcome to the podcast.
Mic check, I guess. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, it's delayed. So, okay, I hear you talking about Bronson Reed taking the dub.
Yeah, so we're doing a little recap on the or a little Crown Jewel Fallout. So yeah, like we're just kind of like talking about what stood out to us. I was just like talking about how that was like a surprise to me, even though I picked Bronson. It was still one of those things where it doesn't normally happen, right? Tribal Chief, he's Roman Reigns. He doesn't take L's lightly, and this was one of them, right? And so I think this is one of those things where we see Bronson Reed actually benefiting from this type of win. Nonetheless, you know, I think, Nick, you were also talking about match of the night, right? Not what you expected. Your Io and Rhea. Not. So, outside of that, like, any thoughts on the show itself, Jay?
I mean, it was, again, one of those glamorized SmackDowns, glamorized Raw. It was, it wasn't really that. It was meh. That's the best way I could say it. we watched it early. We were actually doing a watch party, so that was really cool. So it was fun watching with you guys. But if I was to watch it like by myself, I don't know if I would have been like I would have fell asleep. Not to disrespect the talent, just the fact that it was on so early, right? And I get it, Australia. You give Rhea Ripley the pop. You give Bronson Reed a pop. You get all the hometown people, which is weird because the hometown people usually don't win when it comes to WWE. But you give those guys a pop. Um, what I'm gonna when I came in when you were talking about Bronson Reed getting the win, and with the whole set thing now, it makes sense. So they are doing some sort of long-term storytelling here, where to really build up Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns, as we know, he can eat up L's and he's unaffected by this. What we did get from that is okay, Jey Uso and Roman, like we predicted, there's gonna be a story they're gonna tell there, and he don't want to see him till Christmas. He's like, nah, man, I ain't seeing you till Christmas. And there's a story to tell there. Will they turn Jey heel? He's getting heelish, or I know, are they gonna lead up to another Jay versus a Roman thing? But that kind of played out. I think it's ran its course, right? They WWE. I mean, y'all gotta mix it up. We talk about this deep roster that you guys possess, but who are you building as stars? I mean, you're relying on the same old, same old, same old, right? Okay, all right.
I think what's been tough though, and now in hindsight, I'm thinking based on what I want to say the upcoming WrestleMania card, I've seen, I guess some news outlets, or specifically wrestling sources, talking that Seth and Roman were potentially going to be put together for a Mania match.
We haven't seen that before.
I obviously I look back at the fact that now Seth is hurt, right? They could probably have had to pivot because of this situation, which we'll talk about this part like next.
I
as
do want
well,
to say something
but
though.
Go
ahead.
I want to look at the roster right now, and we got a good amount of people that are out, right? And I think that's just been one of those catalysts where it's just been very difficult to sustain these types of feuds and stories where a lot of them are getting hurt, they're getting benched, put off TV, and then they're gonna have somebody else kind of step in, just kind of like a wash on like whatever storyline they were probably looking to go into heading into Mania season. It is one of those things I do consider. I'm not gonna say that's the entire like reason why some of these stories or feuds are not as built the way they should be, but I want to consider that, right? And I don't want to say that that's not a factor here.
I do want to say I was looking forward to Tiffy Time versus Stephanie Vacquier, and you can just see that Tiffy Time, she's an amateur compared to she's an amateur compared to Stephanie Vacquier. Like Stephanie Vacquier is just seasoned veteran. She just knows how to work any style, any match. She's obviously wrestler. You want to go a strong style, she can do strong style. You want to go lucha, she can do lucha. You want to go WWE way, she can do it. Like she's just that good. She's super talented, super charismatic. Um, looks great. She's she's a star. She should have gone over. She did, but if you break down that match, you can tell like she's carrying Tiffy. And Tiffy is like struggling to keep up with her. Now, the cool part about that is Tiffy is still young. She's been undefeated. She can eat an L because it's like a non-title match anyways. It's champion versus. I mean, it's a belt that's not really defended, the Crown Jewel belt, right? So fine, but you could just tell like there's levels to this, and Tiffy still has ways to go to get to the level of Stephanie back here. And it makes me think that that Charlotte did kind of carry her on WrestleMania because she and maybe Nia even carried her. Like I'm starting to kind of see like she's still learning is what I'm saying. She's still green. But I'm kind of curious is like her time as champion up and who's gonna dethrone her or whatnot. But yeah, that was looking forward to that match and it just became a showcase for Steph. I don't know what y'all think about that one. You guys probably talked about it, my bad.
Oh no.
Actually,
Nick?
nope. We didn't talk about it. So you're right. She definitely can't keep up with Stephanie Vicker. I don't know if you guys saw the latest episode of Chris Van Vliet with Io Sky. So there's a whole interview with Io. Fantastic episode, if I do say so myself. Big Io Sky fan. So there's a whole segment of Io Sky talking about Stephanie Vicker, and they talk about Io Sky talks about her and Stephanie getting along really well, how they've worked together before in Japan, which makes sense as to why they jive so good when they fought for the women's belt, right?
Yeah.
The women's heavyweight belt. And you could see it that they've worked before when they were wrestling in that match. It looked so good. It looked so good, right? Like they were definitely on the same page. It flowed so good. Like the first part of the match, for sure, it looked choreographed. It was just showing off acrobatics kind of stuff. It was just show offy in the beginning, right? It was showmanship in the beginning. And then after that, they got to the nitty-gritty. And it was fun. The match was fun. It was just it is what it is. But with Tiffany and Stephanie, you could tell Tiffany she's not wrestling wise, she's not on that level yet. Yeah, she's good for sure. She's better than average, but she's not on that level yet. But then Io was talking about Stephanie and how her and Stephanie had worked together before, and how Stephanie's Japanese is actually better than her English.
Oh, multilingual. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah. So and she said that they both speak English to each other because it's easier for them to both speak English and understand each other than for them to speak like Japanese to Japanese, because then they'll get confused and all that other stuff. But yeah, no, it's a really good interview. But yeah, I mean, Tiffany the best she could, but yeah.
Do you think
she's definitely?
Do you think Tiffy is stalled? She's kind of becoming stale, or do you think she's still growing into her character?
Nah, I don't think she's stalled.
Okay.
I think she's still trying to figure it out. I think she's gotten comfortable in being a heel. She's admitted it, that she started off as a heel and she's really comfortable in being a heel. She hasn't figured out how to be a face yet, and you can see it. I think she's still trying to figure it out. And that's perfectly fine. She hasn't been in the game that long. They've put a rocket on her and they've shot her up so quickly, and I get it. So I think we just need to give her a little bit more time to figure it out. I'm sure she'll be fine. I'm sure with time, Tiffany Stratton's going to be fine.
She win more matches with Stephanie Vaquer, with more matches with Charlotte, those kind of people. She's gonna get good. Like, I mean, she's gonna be out there.
And her character. Yeah, no, wrestling wise, her character, her skills are going to develop fine.
Oh yeah,
she's athletic, she's great, and then her character is going to develop with it, so she's going to be good.
Yeah,
just give her some time, and I think she's going to develop great.
I was gonna say, do you guys feel like she kind of relies a little bit too much on her? How should I say? Because I guess when she was in the next in line for the WWE talent, if I'm not mistaken, she has like a gymnastics background, right?
Yes.
And also powerlifting.
Something like college.
But do you guys feel like she falls back on that too much, where it's a little bit more choreographed as opposed to having a little bit more ring awareness with her dancing partners, especially because how fluid somebody like Steph, moves, and a Charlotte Flair, and a Nia. Like, obviously they're more tenured, they're more like they're veterans, right? And they're pure. I would say more of the pure type of wrestling, type of athlete.
I would
So, do you guys think that like plays
I
into
would
it?
say, how was their match with Jade Cargill? Two pretty green characters. How was their match? You guys, what did you guys think of that? When you see Tiffy Time and Jade Cargill go head to head, who looked good? Did they make each other look good? Did it look at was it entertaining scrap? I'm trying to remember it, but obviously to me it's like it's not memorable. But was it entertaining? Did they make each other look good? Who looked, or did one person stand out more than the other? That's how I could kind of see like where her growth is. Because wrestling a Charlotte, wrestling a Nia, wrestling all these veterans, those guys are vets and they're gonna make you look good and they'll give her a time to shine. Where Jade and Tiffy are kind of like green, right? So if you break down those matches, if you guys too, like, I'd like to hear your opinions on who looked good there, and did Tiffy does she look like the better one, or what do you guys think?
Well, I think that's kind of like what I was trying to allude to, right? Like, do you guys feel like it's a little bit more choreographed on her part? Because when you look back at that match between Jade and Tiff, they, as green as they are, it seems like they picked their spots to make sure that they go right into it, as opposed to kind of like, hey, maybe we can like improv, or like, let's fluid, like, feel each other out, just to kind of see how we are, and like wherever we are on the ring, just to kind of like mix things in at the same time, like, because they're so, I would say, Tiffy specifically, right? Because Jade, as green as she is, I feel like, maybe she's not up to par with Tiff. So Tiffany has to pretty much carry that match between her and
Did
Jade.
she?
But at the same time, I feel like they both are a little bit choreographed, right? They're not as fluid as the other people that we mentioned. And I think it shows. It clearly shows, right? Sometimes like I want to say like that one spot, right? We're talking about Steph and Tiffy, where she was not selling the right knee.
Oh yeah, I caught that one.
She's selling the opposite
I
knee,
made
right?
Yeah, you
I
caught
got
that.
Nick
You
to
caught that.
rewind that. I'm like, did you just sell the wrong
Yeah.
like dragon screw?
Right. But
That was
then
a good catch.
that's kind of like what I'm alluding to, right? Sometimes like your awareness of like, when things are happening, and it's just like, are you just so caught up in the moment where, like, you're just, going with the motions, or are you really like aware of what's happening around you to make it look very more fluid, more realistic, so to speak. So that's just kind of like where I'm at with Tiffy. But I, like you guys called it out. She's fairly green, in terms of like who she's went up against. Yes, she has the rocket strapped onto her. Like, clearly she has a big popularity, big following. So, I'm not gonna be so highly critical
Oh
on
no, I'm
her
not.
and compare her to like Steph. Like Steph's clearly, ages ahead, in the game. So I think that's just how I look at it.
Nick, what do you think of that Jade Cargill and that Tiff match? What was your impressions of it? And a reason is bringing it up because they're two green. They're both green there, and they're both up and coming, is what I should say. And they're all so. What do you think? One came through NXT, one did not. So who looked better to you?
What I will say is, I do feel like Tiffany Stratton is a bit better than Jade Cargill. I still feel like Jade Cargill has a ways to go. Like, she's still
She's improving too.
She is. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Jade Cargill is improving, but I feel like she relies too much on like big spots, and that's it. Like, there's no finesse to her game. Zero. It's just like it's
She's
big
a
hits and
powerhouse, right?
yeah. She is a powerhouse, right? And
All that stuff.
she's a big girl, and I mean, that's where it's at for her, and that's cool. But like, even big guys, you know what I mean? Like Diesel, Razor Ramon, even they had some kind of finesse to their game. You know what I mean? When they did their moves, finesse to the game.
Yeah, but when you say they those guys are vets, man. Like, you know, when they were Diesel Railroads
Yeah,
and
no,
Ramon, they were already
I
knee deep
get it.
into it.
I get it. I get it. Okay, I mean, you want me to go even bigger? Like, I mean, there was bigger guys than that.
Mm-hmm.
There's finesse to the game. Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's finesse to the game. And it's just she's literally brooding herself. Bro, Nia Jax has more finesse to her game.
Yeah, and people will like disagree and say,
Jade.
no, she botches everything. No, Nia's been putting in work. Like
no, bro, Nia's been putting in work.
Yeah, man, Nia, like you've been. The ref botched one with Nia. We know that it's not Nia. The ref should have counted the 3 on that.
Yeah, no, but I think Tiffany Stratton is a bit better than Jade at the moment. Like I said, Tiffany Stratton, she's still really green. Jojo, I think you're right. She does kind of rely on her choreography kind of thing. I don't think she's too comfortable yet as far as feeling her way out in the ring. I think like Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, all those girls, like they all worked in Japan, right? So they're kind of just comfortable being in the ring, kind of just feeling out like, where are we at in the match? We got some time, you know, let's work a couple of other things in before we hit this spot. You know, what can we do? Let's call a play before we hit this spot. I don't think she's that comfortable with it yet. I think it feels like sometimes she's in a hurry to get to a spot like the Crown Jewel the Crown Jewel match where the ending part, I don't know, it felt kind of weird to me that when she went for the moonsault, and I don't know. I feel like Tiffany Stratton, when she went for the moonsault, it felt kind of rushed. Yeah, I mean, she's okay. She's okay. She's learning. She does feel like she relies on her choreography more. But like I said, give her some time. I think she'll be okay. She just needs to learn. That's what it is. She's green.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like we're having to nitpick, right? I think
right.
Just kind of like assessing like her progression. It's definitely nothing bad. You know, she's clearly developing. You know, and nobody's gonna be perfect overnight. I think because she's very much in the limelight. You know, having the women's world title, she's obviously gonna have eyes on her a lot more than others. So I think that's the other piece to this.
She's a relevant.
We're gonna have expectations.
She's a relevant champ. You'd have to say she's a relevant champ.
She's good.
Yeah,
she's good.
She has the title for a reason, right? I think because she's elevating it to where it needs to be, and it makes it important, which is good. And then you can't take that away.
Beating a Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, you got catapulted. Meaning, like they're WWE is telling you, like, hey, we believe in you to carry the women's division, and you know she's been undefeated.
She's a homegrown talent.
Yeah, she's been undefeated since
absolutely
she went against Steph, so she's all right.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the other Crown Jewel championship match with Cody and Seth?
Predictable. Kind of what I expected.
Everybody went Seth on this, right? I think everybody went Seth on this.
Yeah, everybody went Seth. That's kind of what I expected. It was what it was. It was just kind of predictable. Nothing. It wasn't.
Did you expect a clean victory though? Like, did you expect? I didn't expect a clean victory.
It was semi-clean. Or let's just say it was not involving really his hooligans,
right? Because I thought his hooligans was going to be involved. Use the watch,
right? Yeah, and there was that disclosure right in the very beginning.
Semi-clean.
I think there was like a cut scene, right, or backstage scene with Heyman telling both Bronsons to like stay away.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
We didn't know they were gonna that was like the end of it. That was the end of the vision. You can't see.
I actually thought like something like that, like the way they did that, I thought Becky was gonna come out, to be honest.
Same. I thought Becky was gonna try and help interfere.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's telling those two, so maybe Becky's like lying around somewhere. But yeah, no, I think the ending was like again, I think, and then Jay, we did say this earlier too, like kind of like to echo what you were talking about. It's like, yeah, that's why it feels like another PLE, which just kind of falls in line with these weekly episodic shows, right? Like the way it ended, it was like, okay,
Produced by
all
Paul
right,
Levesque.
it is.
That's it.
It was what it was, you know, and I think the build to it was what made it feel like it was predictable for me. You know, they kept hyping it up where it's like, Cody's never lost to Seth since returning. And, he's kind of like flaunting like, oh, I got this one last year, and blah, blah, blah. So it almost felt like, okay, well, Seth's going to have to get this one then.
Yeah, you have to.
You're not just going to do all that stuff and not give him the win.
You have to validate him, And then he's never defeated Cody, so you have to give him a win to validate the vision. That's the first time he got over Cody. Cool. All right, got it. So, and he does make Cody look good in those 3 losses to him. Was it 3 or 2? I'm not sure, but I definitely
3.
It's 3. Yeah. So he definitely makes Cody look really good. So Seth's just, he's a workhorse. He's dope. Get better, Seth. I'm sure when you come back, whatever storyline you get involved in is gonna be awesome. I mean, the guy's just main event all the time, and nobody really gets mad that he's always in the main event because he puts in work.
Yeah, I think he's a good, plan B. It's almost very reassuring. Not to say he's never a plan A. Obviously, he's been, like the face of the company.
He's the most reliable. I wouldn't say he's a plan B. I'd say he's the most reliable. WWE trusts him. Like, you can get yourself over
when he's healthy.
Yeah,
when he's healthy.
Because that's exactly. He's unfortunately, father time comes for us all. It's a very physically demanding sport, or entertainment. What they're doing. So like he's been getting nicked up left and right, but that guy always comes back, always involved in a storyline, like doesn't lose any of his heat, doesn't lose like he's so reliable.
Well, I think to me that's always been his kryptonite, his injuries. Yeah. And it even happened early on, and let's think about this, right? Remember when he cashed in for the first time, and then he was part of that whole authority storyline, and that's when he eventually had to drop the belt because he bucked his knee, right? And it was during a house show. So he was on the shelf for a while. He's missed Manias, which is unfortunate because he's such a big name that should be on the biggest show of the year. And I think these are some of these kind of situations where we've seen in the past. And they've, and yeah, to your point, I would say like he does kind of fall back in line with, whatever story may be happening by the time he returns, which is great.
He's always going to be involved.
But yeah, he'll
come back with a vengeance.
The injuries just suck. And again, like we just talked about this earlier. It's just these things just happen, and it's just like you can only imagine how much of a wrench it is.
People like
Braun, all their plans,
But for people like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who is attached to Paul Heyman, who was supposed to be attached to Seth Rollins, right? This is like a real good opportunity for them to like catapult themselves, like snatch it, because they have Paul Heyman. They've built them up pretty solid. Like, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they look like unstoppable. You just gave Bronson Reed a win over Roman Reigns. You just made the face turn. I mean, the heel, like they just turned on Seth, and him getting hurt.
Wait, before you go into that.
Oh, my bad.
Let's go. We'll save that for the next one. Yeah.
It's a good opportunity.
That one. Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about next man up here in a bit, but what do you guys think about the Cena Styles match?
Amazing.
Match of the night. That was match of the night. That was match of the night.
AJ Styles, he and I love all the shout outs they gave, and it was cool that Undertaker, they gave the tombstone and then it went to the AA. But just the fact that the entrance of AJ Styles was with TNA clothing. These are two veterans who know how to put on a show. They played the hits. We all knew, like, I think all of us picked Cena, right? What was the
No,
I think I picked AJ.
You picked
Okay,
AJ.
so there
I
was
think
a
I
lone
picked
wolf.
AJ.
Well,
I picked AJ.
yeah, because we all, like most of us in the panel, felt that with Cena taking an L to Brock, he needs to, get some more wins before he leaves. And just those two. I mean, AJ Styles hard to have a bad match. That guy is. I give props to AJ Styles just because his age, how he moves, he is phenomenal. I mean, he really lives up to his name. He is phenomenal. He lives up to it.
Unintended.
He can go fast. He can go slow. He can go like high flying moves. Like still at his age, he's dope. He's a testament to other people from other promotions being able to make it in WWE because he's probably the only one that, like the first one, I would say, the first real one that has gotten the Universal title.
I think you kind of like speak more like somebody to make their name outside of WWE, to be a big name outside of WWE before he joined WWE.
I don't think anybody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody from outside of WWE, like on those other rival promotions, got the Universal. They've always given it like the heavyweight world champion. Like I know Booker T didn't get the Universal. He only got the heavyweight championship, for example, like that, right? So I think he's the only one from a TNA who got it. Unless Goldberg had the Universal?
Yeah. Goldberg's won the Universal.
Okay. Dang it. Then I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think he won it off the Fiend, if I'm not mistaken. It was like the first time.
Yes, he did.
R.I.P.
Unfortunately,
not a lot of people were happy about that one.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody was happy with that one.
I think Triple H made the best comment about this match, saying that this was like a love letter to wrestling. What they did, and I think the other, like even before this, it's like the other part why I felt like AJ wasn't going to win this is because he has a 2-1 record against Cena, lifetime between those two. So yeah, clearly I think Cena getting the win here was right, and it was a great match. I hate to say this, but I did say that this was going to be a match of the night.
Why do you hate to say it?
FYI.
Why do you hate to say it? It doesn't sound like you hating it.
Go ahead, Jojo.
Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah.
Bust out those W sandwiches, bro.
Man.
Bust out those W sandwiches.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like it hate.
Eating more dubs tonight.
Dude.
Eating my dubs tonight.
Okay, so you picked, what did we think was the match of the night, Nick? Like, well, no,
y'all were picking the Io Rhea,
I called it
Kabuki Warriors match.
Yeah. Then,
I think a bunch of y'all did
it. It was Cena and AJ. That was the match.
Well, I think the reception of how they just had the whole crowd and remember that shot right when they kind of panned out. There's so many people wearing that like Cena shirt in that crowd, which is insane. And it's just like, man, that just kind of made the match feel much more important the way it was, just because of they knew who was in the ring. This is probably the last time they're going to see Cena in the ring in Australia. And yeah, like they pretty much paid homage, right, to like all their past rivals. And it's interesting because even the very beginning, the introductions, right, Cena handed off that piece of paper for AJ. And I thought that was a nice touch to the introduction.
That was a nice touch.
They did say he was the leader of the Bullet Club. What? They mentioned the Bullet Club.
They were calling they reference almost every single thing.
Is the Bullet Club
AJ's
still going on?
Iconic career, and yeah,
okay,
still in New Japan. Yeah, so it's it's a nice nod, I would say, just to pay the respects for both of these legends. And it's just I don't think there was another way of really putting this together to make it even better, I in my opinion, unless it was at Mania. But I don't know, I thought it was a great match, just the presentation of it and how they just kind of conducted everything throughout the match. And yeah, like Cena's a little bit older. I wasn't expecting him to like, move the way AJ does, but to AJ's credit, he makes everybody look good, and he's still capable of doing the things that he's able to do, right? So they paid how many homages? Like Cena did like the Miz, Jericho's. He tried to do the 619 at one point, right?
Yeah.
And then AJ was like doing some stuff for some of the TNA guys, like Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels. I think Samoa Joe. He did the Coquina Clutch. So yeah, they were just paying homage to all of their rivals in this one match. It was amazing. I thought it was well done, and kudos to both of them. I think that was clearly a reason why this whole crowd, was so invested in it. And clearly, like, it seemed like the IWC received it well and had high praise to it. That probably even made it feel like it was like, okay, that's why we were saying it's a good PLE. It wasn't bad. It was good. Like it seems like there's that one match that seems to save these PLEs because there's just so many these days. And I felt like this was the one, in my opinion.
Let me make this point really fast.
Yeah.
WWE, I know you watching. How are you going to do that to us? You make Paris, the entrance look so good. The production in Paris looks so good. JoJo didn't even know what the hell that thing was till you guys really panned out. It looked like a bunch of tarantulas or whatever it was. It looked like a ladder match that was going to happen, right? Make it more obvious it's a jewel. I get it. It's a jewel or whatever it is, man. But, it just didn't look as nice. You come from Paris, and the Paris one, production was off the chains. This one, man, come on, man. It kind of looked weak.
Hey, it was too far to ship over all that stage equipment.
It just looked like
Paris is much closer.
Looked like a tables and ladders match was gonna go happen, or like a Money in the Bank match, like cranes they would do to hang it up. Yeah. I mean, you had to like really pan out to see that it was a jewel.
Yeah, when it panned out, it made sense. It did look good, but yeah, like it's kind of one of those like those facades, right? Like it doesn't look great up close, but you got to really like move all the way back just to like see how good it looks because of that, like that distance. But otherwise, it did look like a Samoan spider, in my opinion, just dangling on the entrance, shining and glowing over there.
Oh,
but yeah,
I got another bone to pick with you, WWE. Y'all need to stop showing the crowd or like a weird ass angle when there's going to be a high spot that is happening. Like, it's annoying the crap out of me. Like, I'll give you an example. This has been going on. Like, when Edge first made his return to WWE, right? Y'all panned out to the crowd and we all miss Edge's spear. Like, it is one of those things. So Ruka does one of these moves to, what's her name? Jada Parker. The camera angle is like weird, or Javon Evans does his move and it's like a weird angle where you're like, what happened? Like, y'all let us see the finish clearly, because y'all keep panning to stupid angles that I'm confused. It's like, it seems like the cameraman just wants to get the butt shot of Stephanie Vaquer or Sol Ruka, like in uncompromising positions. Like, I get it, but I want to see finishers, not that kind of finisher, like the finisher of the wrestling moveset. You know what I'm saying? Good Lord, WWE. Y'all need to get your when the cameramen get it right, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But God damn it.
Let me text Jasper, bro, and tell him that you don't want to see Soruka's finisher. That kind of finisher.
Her soul snatcher.
No, I mean the angle they did it at, it's like you had to like, oh, she hit it. Like, but it was such a bad angle. And then like Javon Evans, he hit it. It's like it was such a bad angle. And then I remember Edge, like he makes this entrance, like we're popping for him at Royal Rumble. They panned to the crowd and it was like, oh man. But there's negative and positives here where for the most of the time, when they stick to what they're good at is getting the good shots and stuff, they're really amazing at it. But there's times they just switch up the angles and it's like, stop, dude, don't, you're doing it too much. Come on, man.
They know their assignments.
Yeah, man. Understand it.
They know where the plot is. They're focused
They
on
know
the
where
plot.
the plot.
I mean,
is.
again, those are good. I ain't mad at that, but like when Soul Ruka going for her soul snatcher, like I wanna see it. Like I wanna see a good view of it.
They'll tell you to go catch it on YouTube.
I guess so. Jeez.
Go watch the replay on social media. That's what they'll tell you.
They'll show you the right angle then.
Yeah, exactly. So, kind of like jumping topics here real quick. And Jay seemed to already kind of had a little bit to say about it, right? So, the following night, we obviously saw, or if I should say, it was technically Monday morning, right? Our time, because they were still in Australia.
Oh.
The big surprise at the end of Raw was the turn of the Vision on Seth, right? And I think there's also reports as to why that happened. You know, I'm some of these news sources stating that this was supposed to happen at a later point, but there was they kind of like expedited just because of Seth
News source
having an injury, which is kind of like, we've seen this before. You know, yes, Seth has had legitimate injuries, but the most recent one, which we all later learned was, you know, a farce, leading into his cash in. So, where is the Vision go here? And is this injury legit? What are your guys' thoughts?
I don't know. They really burned me on that last one. It's hard to trust. It's hard to trust him now. You really burned me on that last WWE. I know you watching. You burned me on that last one, dude. It's hard to trust you guys now.
It's a shoulder injury, right?
It's a shoulder injury.
Shoulder injury.
I mean, I feel like I feel like if I feel like the split's real. I feel like the split's real.
Okay. Split's real because the injury's real? Is that where you kind of lean?
I feel like the split's real because the injury is real this time.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's too early. I feel like it's too early for them to break up the Vision. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had planted the seeds. They had planted the seeds earlier, where Seth Rollins had talked his shit about you know, really, you know, not needing them earlier. You know, before they were even called the Vision. You know what I mean? He had said his piece earlier, and then kind of left it there, right? But I felt like he was way too early in the Vision for them to break up. I want to say they had at least a few more months of life left till they could have broken up.
Until like after Mania?
Yeah, maybe after Mania. Or at the earliest Mania. You know what I mean? Have the exclamation point at Mania. Maybe have Braun start chasing at Mania. Right when, you know, have Seth win at Mania and have the exclamation point, have him spear him at Mania or something. You know what I mean? Like, have the Vision break up after Mania. They just started coming out with the Vision jackets. Those are fucking cool ass jackets. I'm not gonna lie. I love those jackets. Those jackets are fucking sick.
Who said you can't get them?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm not gonna lie. If they, I do not wear jackets. Like, I produce enough heat that if I walk in snow, I probably melt snow.
Do you even wear jackets in Hawaii?
I produce too much.
Yeah, it's Hawaii too.
Yeah, do you guys even wear jackets there, man?
Bro, I walk around in like 40, 30 degree weather in shorts and t-shirt, and people look at me like I'm fucking weird. But like, I don't know. I would buy the jacket. It looks cool.
Sure.
Well, it is kind of interesting too, because like we just had Becky kind of join the Vision, right? So
did she?
I think that she was listed on their roster page as part of the Vision, from my understanding.
Here's the thing with this
But
Vision,
it's
man.
interesting now.
Here's the thing with this Vision, man, is that really doesn't need him. You never really needed Paul Heyman. Like, that's just better without him. And I think WWE realized this too and said, you know what, this was a good way to get Heyman off of Seth because we want to put a rocket pack on Braun Breaker, right? I said Braun Bronson, Braun Breaker, right? And for Bronson, Big Bronson Reed, he's just like along for the ride, but he gets to get Heyman. Like, this is a great opportunity for him. Seth, like I was alluding to earlier, you don't need nobody. He's gonna go back and he's gonna be either face, heel, whatever it is. He's gonna be involved. He's gonna tell a good story. Whoever you put him up with, he knows how to tell a story. Even with this rushed AJ Lee and CM Punk um pay-per-view they did for WrestlePalooza. Yeah, he did his work. CM Punk did their work. They promoted out of it. So the trust is there with this guy. He did not need Heyman as like Roman Reigns needed Heyman or Brock Lesnar needed Heyman. Like they needed a mouthpiece or they needed to get some way of believe I'm the heel, right? And for Brock Lesnar is more the advocate, right? He needed an advocate. For Roman Reigns, they needed somebody to make him a full heel.
No.
Right?
Wise man.
Right. And he gets instant credibility as a heel because he got Heyman. Seth doesn't really need Heyman. So I was always curious to see where this partnership was going. I see you, bro. This partnership was going.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here, let me put this out there for you guys, and I think this would be an interesting discussion. Okay, so you know how we always say that Seth Rollins is reliable, right? He's reliable. But when we talk about guys like Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, all these guys that Paul Heyman has been with, these guys are legitimate superstars. I want to say these guys have literally shattered the ceiling. These guys are up there. Not saying that Seth isn't. Not saying that Seth hasn't hit the ceiling, maybe gone a little bit past. I just want to put this out there. So somebody who I've always liked and who I've actually come to respect as of lately for his work and his opinion as of lately, Bubba Ray Dudley.
Okay.
He put out there not too long ago. He said that Seth Rollins is missing the emotional factor with the crowd. He's a great in-ring performer, and that he has like he's a really good character. He when he goes out there, he feels like he's playing a character. Doesn't feel like he's going out there as Seth Rollins. Like you feel when you go out there, you feel like you're separating two people. Like when Roman Reigns goes out there, you feel like you're getting Roman Reigns, the actual Roman Reigns. When Brock Lesnar goes out there, you feel like you're seeing the actual Brock Lesnar. But when you get Seth Rollins, you feel like you're getting a character of Seth Rollins. And Bubba Ray is saying that what he lacks is the emotional connection to the audience. What do you guys think about that comment?
Who said that?
Bubba Ray Dudley.
I mean, he's more versed than in this game, in this industry than we are. So I guess he has a point. Like, I'm not gonna knock his point, but I think Seth doesn't need Heyman. Like, I'll go back to that. Seth doesn't need Heyman. And that's not a knock on Heyman. It's like Heyman is better served to build up Braun Breaker. Like Braun Breaker needs Heyman.
No, I
Like
agree.
he
I agree.
he will be
I agree.
legitimized. He's so legitimized now because he has Paul Heyman. And for Paul Heyman to want to work with Braun Breaker means he thinks he's a big deal. Which is cool, right? And they're gonna like if this injury is real or not, I'm gonna lean on. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's something that
Ooh,
because
you are really caught up with the last one too, huh?
because no, the other injury, the last injury.
Yeah, the knee,
Oh, I mean, again,
which
this is
obviously
stuff
wasn't
like,
real.
yeah, well, these are things like everybody all of a sudden thinks like, again, I'm sorry, the people who have their podcasts and the other people who are insiders, WWE tells you what they want you to hear and release information they want you to think. Y'all don't know nothing unless they want to
What's your
leak something.
opinion though? Do you think it's
Unless
real, or do you not?
they leak information to you. Right? There's no Jeff Passan here. There's no Adam Schefter there. There's no Shams Sharamia. Like, they're just guessing. Again, it goes back to they all of a sudden know it because WWE wants you to know it. What's a work? What's a thing? And even if it was like that's only something the brain trust would know, unless like again, Bubba Ray Dudley, he knows people inside that maybe will talk. Like I think Devon does isn't creative. Or no, he wasn't creative, not anymore. Uh I don't know, to be honest. That's the honest opinion if it's gonna work or not. But I will say Breaker with only managing that only managing Breaker being managed by Paul Heyman is he's a champion soon. I don't know. He's gonna get it quick. Cody Rhodes or Seth, your days are numbered. He's gonna get it. There's no way Paul Heyman is going to align himself without it to a person that's not going to be a champion. No way.
I think like a couple things here. So I think Nick, you make a good point. I don't think the split happens if the injury wasn't legitimate. I do think that this is like another pivot they got to do whenever something does happen, specifically an injury. Now, your question, as far as what Bubba said, I think I can understand why he says that. And the thing with Seth is because he does more than just wrestling. He also like has his outside ventures, right? He does he co-hosts on like one of those like ESPN shows, right? Like for football. And I think when people like him, those type of personalities are doing multiple things outside of wrestling where they have to show who they really are. It is hard to distinguish who he really is on screen when he doesn't show that as much as he does on these other shows. Same thing with a lot of these wrestlers nowadays, right? I think I know like a lot of old heads will criticize, the dynamic or just this new generation of wrestlers, how they put themselves on social media and in the public eye and not really selling the characters that they portray on TV because they're also like fraternizing with like whoever their on-screen adversaries are, and it doesn't give that authenticity, right? And I think some of these old heads are very critical about that, and I get it. I totally get why. Because like you had somebody like the Undertaker, for example. I think he's probably the best example where he lived and breathed the character even outside of WWE, right? I think there's been stories where he's been not as approachable because he was always in that character. So, you have people like him. And I think Kane was also another one where he loved having the mask on TV and nobody knew who he was outside. of WWE when he had the mask off. And from my understanding, that also made it easy for him to just kind of carry on and not having to be like as, engaged with the fans unless it's like a actual event, right?
Or
But
patience
yeah,
when he's helping them being a dentist.
that too. Um, but yeah, like, and I think to what Bubba's saying with Seth here, I see where he's probably coming from with it. As far as who the real Seth is on screen, oh yeah, that's a tough one. I think we've seen obviously good guy Seth, bad guy Seth. We've seen Shield Seth. We've seen the Visionary Seth. We've seen the Messiah Seth. Like he's had a lot of different monikers in his WWE career. There's been Tyler Black, the indie version of Seth Rollins, right? There's been NXT Seth Rollins. So yeah, to your point, I can't say like I know who the real Seth is, like comparing him to all these other like superstars. We know what we're getting. We know the CM Punk, we know the rated R superstar, we know the John Cena, we know the Brock Lesnar, we know the Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer. Seth has had so many personas. It is hard to decipher what is the real Seth Rollins, right? And I think that's a very fair critique from Bubba Ray in that aspect. So that's kind of like my piece on that. So I want to say though, like, I think if it is legitimate, I will say this. Seth, please take care of yourself. We wish you a speedy recovery. We obviously want to see you back on TV. You're clearly one of the biggest names in pro wrestling right now. Obviously, take care of yourself and speedy recovery. Shoulder injury, hopefully you'll be back sooner than later. Hopefully back in Mania season, right? Otherwise, Cena, time is pretty much winding down. I think if we look at the dates, he technically has 3 dates, and I think the one date that is not confirmed is Survivor Series. And from my understanding, that's rumored to be one of his last 4 appearances. And they are teasing that he may end up going up against Dominic Mysterio, right? For the IC title. And I guess they're going to kind of play on that whole Grand Slam theme. Not sure if he'll actually win it, but I think that's kind of like the route that they're going here. Otherwise, the other 3 appearances are pretty much winding down. I believe there's one in Boston, one in New York, and then obviously his final match also in DC, which is interesting. I don't know if you guys kept up with that piece. Apparently, there was like 60,000 people in the queues for Ticketmaster trying to buy tickets to his last match, which is insane because if you think about 60,000, that's almost like a stadium show, right? And they're holding it in an actual smaller venue. So that is a clear sellout. But
They're gonna
leading to
hold it where
his,
the Wizards play.
I'm not sure where the venue's at. Actually, it might be possibly. But yeah, it's definitely winding down. We're literally like near the end of, or kind of halfway through October. It's gonna fly by, and it'll be kind of interesting to see how this pans out. But how are you guys kind of like feeling in terms of Cena not being on TV anymore in a wrestler type of role? I think that's kind of like why I wanted to like bring up here. Like, has it kind of sunk in for you guys?
For me,
I
it kind of
mean,
has
oh,
already.
God.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it kind of has already. I've kind of got to the point where I'm just kind of enjoying Cena for what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's just, especially when it came to like this AJ Styles match, I really went in it just. I mean, I knew AJ Styles was going to be able to give us something good, right? Him and AJ was gonna. I knew they were going to put on something good. I didn't. I didn't want to say my expectations were going to be high, but of course my expectations were going to be kind of high.
Mm.
Because AJ Styles and John Cena, John Cena, of course, even though he's older, he says his body hurts, but he's gonna give it 100. And of course, AJ Styles, he puts on banger matches. So while I'm gonna say that my expectations are not gonna be high because they're older gentlemen, these guys are elite. These guys are borderline perfectionists, if not perfectionists. So they were gonna give us something good. So
it's kind of blasphemous. You said they were elite.
They are, dude. They are. They're not all elite, but they are elite.
Just kidding.
They're the definite. Well, at least one of them is definitely the definition of total nonstop action. But I mean, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed their match at Crown Jewel. It was a fantastic match, and John Cena. I'm just whatever comes his way for the last 4 matches. If he does wrestle Dom, I hope he doesn't win. I hope he gives Dom the rub. I hope he does something really good for Dom that just makes him look so fantastic. That it makes Dom look so good. It makes Dom look so dirty. You know what I mean? Like, I hope Dom just has this like super like really terrible win that makes him look like the ultimate bad guy, and John Cena like the ultimate good guy kind of thing. I hope the match ends really badly, in a good way. There's also been talks about what's his face, Matt Cardona. His name's popped up. There's been talks about Matt Cardona facing John Cena.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know how to feel about that. Let me just say that.
Don't come on, man. I'm not the one saying that I'm gonna put them together.
I'm not shooting
the same, man. These are a bunch of like
no.
These are all these Twitter
I know
people.
But I'm just saying,
insider wannabes.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, Matt Cardona's name has been popping up, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's not one of those people I kind of want to see him wrestle John Cena in his last 3 matches. But whoever they throw at us, I'm sure Cena's going to give us something good. I'm just here to enjoy the show already. John Cena is right. It's time to give it to the new generation. If he sticks around any longer, he's just going to be taking time away from the new guys. I'm just enjoying it.
Here's the thing with Cena, man. He's been taking L's. Nakamura. He took an L to Nakamura. He put him over. He took an L to I think Solo. I think he took an L to Solo, right? Took an L to Solo Sikoa. He took an L to what's the guy? Austin Theory. He just takes L's. He took an L to Roman Reigns. Took an L to Undertaker. I mean, I'm just telling you, this guy's been taking L's before he announced his retirement tour. He's always been putting people over. And I thought when he was going to turn heel, like he wasn't going to do that. But you know what? Cena, get all your wins, man. Don't put nobody over. Get them all. You've been putting them over for so long. You've been taking L's from people who, it's up to who WWE wants to build up or not build up. And you've been a good soldier and you've been taking these L's and just eating them up, and you're still John Cena. So you got 3 matches, win them all. Win them all. Win that IC title. Who cares? Give me the fan service. But as far as him putting over people, he does it. He does it like there's no need for him to take any more L's. He just needs to win all his matches now. He's been, what was it, a 14 losing streak he's been on. He even mentioned that before he announced his retirement. Yeah,
it's ended.
Yeah, what I'm saying, he was in a 14 before he announced his retirement. Before he announced his retirement tour, he's just been taking L's and trying to build up people all the time. Again, Solo, Austin, the name goes on. He just takes L's. That's just how much he loves the industry. He gets like one match every year just to say he continued and bad. Like, I've been used to him not being around. I've been used to him not being in the ring. He only makes like sporadic appearances. I don't even think that he's like as an in-ring talent. I'm just tired of him taking L's because
So
he needs to just these 3 matches he needs to win, and we will probably see him still like a host or make a cameo like these Hulk Hogan used to do or the NWO used to do, like some sort of legend thing that because he loves the industry. Like The Rock, he would come town sometimes. So Cena, get all your wins, win that IC belt, win whatever. You deserve it.
oh,
You deserve everything, man. Just go. Get all those wins. Any style you want, just do it. You've been putting people over left and right.
okay, so that's interesting. So win the IC title. Does
Win
he
all his
retire
matches. He's
with
got
it?
3 matches.
Does he
Win them
retire with
all.
it then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Win them all.
Interesting. That's an interesting take right there. Let
Dom
me
can
ask you
get.
guys this real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Who's the final match? Who would you guys want to see?
Looking like Brock, man.
You had the option to book it. Who would you guys prefer to see his final opponent?
It looks like right now. It looks like Brock. My final opponent for him
Brock
should be The Rock.
The Rock. Okay. Nick.
I'll be honest, I have no idea. Currently, I have no idea. If I had it my
You're
way,
the booker though. Yeah, you're the booker.
if I had it my way and it could be anybody, it would be CM Punk. I would have CM Punk take him out.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So
lame.
So
I'd have CM Punk take him out.
Boo. Good Lord, y'all CM Punk.
So let's think about this, right? And this is gonna kind of tie into the next topic here. So would it be nice if
In you, Nick.
just for one night, right? Cena's final opponent could be Edge.
It
just
would
for
be
that last match.
Oh,
it would be if
thing.
If that
You're going with that.
Just because, right?
You're going with that hell eat a thing.
But like before we even go to that, like let's really think about like the biggest rivalries for Cena. To me, Edge has to be on the top of that list.
Oh yeah,
their rivalry was
top two.
You know, like I would say Cena and Edge, and then like for me, Cena, CM Punk as the top 2 rivalries for Cena in his career. I would throw like maybe Orton as like a close, third, right? Okay. But Edge to me takes the cake. Like his rivalry with Cena was probably the one of that ruthless aggression, post Attitude Era, right? And I know contractually Edge is tied to AEW, which is unfortunate because, like Cena said, he's calling it quits. It's the end of the year. That's it. No more in-ring competition for him. He's not going to come back for any more money. He's done. So clearly, fantasy booking, I think we all picked who we picked. Now, interesting thing is because there's a lot of different reports being talked about with Edge specifically with his contract. Whether or not there's any truth to this, if they added injury time, supposedly, I think Chris Van Vliet was actually talking about this, that the timeline of his actual AEW contract does end specifically in October, which would be this October. And I believe it was 2 years from the time he signed with AEW. Now, whether or not they added injury time, that could obviously, throw a wrench into all of this, which at the end of the day, it is what it is. But how interesting would this be, right? If Edge could eventually show up just for that one night because of this whole Andrade drama, right? The whole Andrade drama that has unfolded in the past few months, or actually not even a few months, past few weeks for that matter. And it's just crazy because of this whole story. I've never seen anything like it, in my opinion. Granted, we've had different promotions and talent move abroad, and like these non-compete clauses, which is kind of like a norm. But the way this kind of unfolded, it's just kind of like a big head scratcher, in my opinion. Like, I don't know how AEW, for one thing, I'm not pointing blame at them, right? I'm just saying, I don't know how AEW missed like this whole thing, or let alone if Andrade missed it on his end to not even see this little clause in his contract. Because the bottom line is he wasn't released on his own terms. He was fired, obviously, because of multiple reasons. From our understanding, he had wellness policy issues, and obviously, dude wasn't showing up to shows. So it was more of a disciplinary action, and which this kind of plays into the whole breach of contract, where I'm sure all of us just learned the whole TKO piece to this is that when you violate that contract in those lines, then your non-compete ends up being 1 whole year, which is insane. Insane to think. He can't be competing for anybody, or he can't work for anybody for a whole freaking year. It's freaking gnarly. Now, how does this tie into the whole Edge thing? Well, let's just hypothetically think here. What if WWE pulls that whole, well, you know what? We'll waive that if you do this, right? Under one condition, let us borrow Edge for one night. Now,
Okay.
is this out of the? Is this kind of out of the norm? Well, let's think about this, right? I know that WWE in the past has done something very similar with TNA, and I understood like when Ric Flair was contracted with TNA and Christian was contracted with WWE, they swapped talent, and it wasn't for a match, but nonetheless, they were able to like work something out, even though they were contractually tied to the other organization or other company. So could this be like a reach? I don't honestly think it may be that much of a reach because of all of this happening around this time. That's just how I look at it. And obviously there's a lot of people running with it right now. I'm not gonna put my hopes up, obviously, but wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Okay, so I did hear a lot of that. So I was gonna say Edge. I was gonna say Edge because I was hearing about that, and I did take into account that they may have put on injury time onto Edge's contract, so that could run into 2026, right? So that's why I was like, I didn't want to say Edge because I don't want to get my hopes up. Because honestly, Edge is like best case scenario. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That is like literally best case scenario. If we can get Edge back, that's best case scenario. The pop would be insane if we could get an Edge for his last match. And realistically, if you ask anybody who watched both feuds between John Cena and Edge versus John Cena, or John Cena versus CM Punk, it really is kind of objective. You either get one or the other. Like, it's really interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Both were extremely good feuds, each for their own reasons. Both were extremely good. Like, they both were top tier feuds. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I just don't know if it'll ever happen. But yeah,
you guys are doing
I
something.
mean,
Since this is fantasy booking, that's exactly what you two are doing, man. Fantasy booking. Ain't no way Edge gonna show up. TNA, AEW won't allow it. There's injury clauses. There's all these kind of things. We don't know what the details of this contract are. I don't pretend to know it. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not gonna go dive deep into that. But what I do know is that guy is an employee of AEW, and they will not allow that their product or their employee to go to a WWE ring, risk himself of getting hurt, and then guess what happens? They won't do that. Why would they promote?
They let it go to New Japan and all these other promotions to get hurt.
Yeah, but it's your rival.
But see, but that's the thing, right?
But
like
again,
if you're gonna let your talent go to all these other companies and get hurt.
It's New Japan. You have a
But
partnership
still,
with them.
it's
Nah,
like
you have again,
I
fantasy booking.
understand if you
Again,
didn't
I can
want
speak
to
my
get them
piece
hurt at
because it's
all.
my opinion. Okay, my opinion here is that he is an AEW employee. Yes, he does. The WWE and AEW do not have a partnership. They're rivals. They've already said that. You've seen Tony Khan go into, I think, like ESPN and saying like they're the evil empire. We're like the small people or something like that. Like he really like does not get along with WWE because that's their competitor. So I don't think he does that. Why? Because he doesn't have to. And again, this is if fantasy booking, we all want Edge versus Cena, cool. But is it a reality? I doubt it. Where's the money? Unless WWE they ask for a whole boatload of money, and WWE wants to say, okay, here it is. Here's your money. You know. And
They
again,
did violate the
I would-
contract.
That's what
again,
I'm
but
saying.
that's
the
gonna be
contract.
that's gonna be
that's the
settled
big
by
part
lawyers,
here.
bro. Hey, that's gonna be settled by lawyers.
That's fair.
That's gonna be settled by lawyers. In my opinion, that's not gonna be settled in the ring. That's fantasy booking right there.
I know that,
It's gonna
but
be
that's why
settled
we're
by
talking about the whole Andrade thing being a part of this whole situation. It could
again
be
fantasy
potentially another
booking,
piece.
but is it a
How is that
reality?
fantasy
I'm not
booking
sure.
though?
I'm not.
It's about the contract.
Okay, you know what? You
That's
guys
a
take your
card
victory
that they
lap.
have.
Y'all take your victory laps when that
It's not a
happens.
victory lap.
But
though.
I'm
That's
gonna
that's
make
No,
a
it's not a
victory
victory
lap. I'm
lap.
gonna take a victory lap and say like, hey,
How is that a
Edge
victory
ain't
lap?
coming to WWE unless he's out of that contract. Because
See,
if he's an
that's the
employee of
thing.
if he's an employee of AEW, there's no way.
But I
There's
think
no
you're missing the
way.
point of why the Andrade thing is such an important piece to this.
Again, that thing's gonna be settled in court, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's to say that
It's a
they
card
don't
they
go
could
to
use.
court and just use that as leverage? That's what I'm saying.
Again, fantasy book all you want. I doubt it.
I don't see how that's fantasy booking if that's going to be handled in court.
It is fantasy booking. This is clearly fantasy booking.
Like their contract, like
Andrade's
Andrade's
you
contract?
guys want Edge? Like Edge is gonna come to WWE television? Like, come on, that's not gonna happen unless he's out of that contract.
Again, the whole
We don't even know if there's
situation with
injury
Andrade.
time, and we don't even know the wording
that's
on
what
his
we're trying to
contract.
say.
We're not lawyers. We don't know the wording of that contract.
I know what you're saying.
Okay, then then I'm saying y'all fantasy booking. If you guys disagree with me, I get it. Cool, that's fine. But I'm telling y'all are fantasy booking this thing.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying that the whole Andrade piece, because of his contract stipulating that there's a 1 year.
There's just some internet people trying to make a story out of nothing.
Dude,
Andrade's a whole different situation. He has nothing to do with Edge. He has nothing to do with John Cena.
Okay,
Andrade is a AEW, WWE thing. Okay, but that has nothing to do with John Cena and Edge. That's an Andrade problem. Whether Andrade's going to be allowed to go appear again or he's going to be shelved for a year, that has nothing to do with Edge. They don't need to make that trade. They'll shelve him for a year.
You're saying they don't need to, but that it could be considered. That's what we're trying to say. As far as his contract goes, being a whole year.
If you guys feel that Andrade is that important to AEW, okay.
I think Andrade is important to Andrade having his contract the way it was.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna put
his situation has nothing to do. His situation has nothing to do with John Cena and Edge fighting.
But that's what we're trying to say is like how interesting it would be if it was used for this circumstance, and that's why I try to segue into
it's fantasy booking, man.
Okay, it's that's what the topic was, right? And as I'm like, we're talking about like his situation, how it's been kind of hitting the rounds on the internet. Obviously,
the internet where everything is legit, everything's real with these insiders and insiders.
All these things are coming from that, though. Like that's why we just talk. Are we not able?
They're
to
just
talk
all
about
blah blah blahs, man.
Are we not able to talk about it? That's
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well,
do I want it to happen? Sure.
Also, right? We're not keeping our hopes up, but it's just kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Let me ask you this: realistically, who can the Cena fight that's in the roster? That you don't have to do these crazy things. CM Punk for you. Who for you?
I would actually say The Rock still.
Okay.
I would still say The Rock. Yeah, like I wouldn't count that out, to be
Like
honest with you guys.
I
like
wouldn't either.
to me, would I want to see that over Rock versus Roman? I kind of want to see Rock versus Roman better, but I wouldn't doubt it's Rock versus Cena. But I think he's gonna do it with Brock. I really think he's gonna end it with Brock because Brock took
Yeah.
the last L from Brock, and then what's Brock's current feud right now? Nothing, right?
Brock
No,
comes and
nothing.
goes whenever he wants. That's
Yeah.
Brock. He showed
Or
up,
maybe-
and he's, Lord knows when he's gonna show back up on TV. So
Yeah.
that's Brock. He kind of toots his own horn and beats his own drum, kind of thing, being who he is, right? And I think with Cena, like, at this point, it is kind of interesting who they line up in front of him the last couple dates here. Now, yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see if he does end up winning the IC title. Like, does he walk away with it? Does he lose it to
I want him to
somebody?
get wins.
I
want him to
that'd
get
be
all
kind of
wins.
interesting. That'd be kind of interesting to see.
The guy's been a company man forever, man. Like I just see him like 14 losing streak, just trying to put people over all the time. It's time to come out on top, Cena. Just win, win, win. You're always putting people over. He's good for the industry. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's Cena. That's why it's kind of an interesting thing where it's just like, it hasn't really sunk in for me yet, but I'm sure when Saturday night main event hits, that shit's
What's
gonna
his last
fucking hit.
PLE though? What's his last people?
Saturday
Survivor
night
Series?
main event.
No, PLE. Is that considered a PLE?
Not even a PLE. That's like a.
That's what they're labeling it as, but
It's
we know it's not a PLE.
PLE-ish.
Survivor Series,
Yeah.
if he's on that card, is really his last PLE.
In terms of a major one, that
Yeah.
should be. Yes, that should be, because it hasn't been advertised yet, but that's been something that's, again, been speculated. So
hope
it
he
could
gets-
possibly be against Dominic.
It
could
I hope he
possibly
gets that
be
IC title. Why not? Right?
I think Dominic's already been kind of chirping on social media also. So they're probably planting the seeds on that piece. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if you think about it, Dom losing to John Cena doesn't hurt him. Like Dom can eat L's right now. Like Dom is so over. Like he can eat L's and be okay and give John Cena his grand slam. And then he'll probably retire with it. And there's gonna be a tournament that if you want to
It kind of feels weird though, like retiring with the IC title. The
He
one
doesn't
title that
need
you
it.
never won,
He doesn't need it.
kind of feels weird.
It makes no sense.
Okay.
He doesn't
What if
need
he
it,
does a
though.
Dolph Ziggler, right? I don't want this. No, like I wanted to win it. I'm relinquishing it, right? Isn't that what Dolph Ziggler did? He relinquished it like the next day when he won the IC belt.
Oh shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Was
Dolph
it the IC
Ziggler,
belt or the US title? I think it was the US title.
one of those belts. He won it, and the next night, Dolph
Yes.
Ziggler said,
That was a US title.
"Yeah,
I
maybe
think
he does
just
a
won
Dolph
it off
Ziggler
of
like that."
like Bobby Roode or something like that. That was like around
I thought it
that
was
time.
Seth. Wasn't it Seth? No.
Something, somewhat like it was definitely around that era. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting, but I wouldn't be mad at it, to be honest. Like I said, I think for the Cena's like final appearances, yeah, I'm just on on the ride here. I'm just gonna enjoy it.
I just want
Enjoy it for what it is. It's Cena.
He's dope, man.
It's Cena. It's one of those like you won't know how much you appreciate somebody until like they're fully gone from it, right?
For sure.
That's why I just kind of want to like just actually enjoy it for the fact that he's still there. So that's just kind of me though.
It's good to see him win or something, like, and he's won like in this retirement tour, he's won the belt back. He's won elimination. Did he win elimination chamber? He won elimination chamber, right? That was the PLE he won. Yeah, he won elimination chamber.
The heel turn.
That's where he turned.
Yeah. So like it's cool to see him like get these wins, right? He beat CM Punk, he beat Randy Orton. Like just get these wins, man. You deserve it. You deserve all these wins. You have been putting over so many people. It's time for them to put you over again.
Never seen 17. How much we will actually miss you once you're no more. But hey, that's just how it is. Nobody can defeat Father Time, right?
No, but don't you think
Hear
he'll still
that?
make appearances? Like,
Appearances are
Yeah,
appearances.
yeah,
I
he
think
will. He will.
yeah,
I think he's just more adamant about in-ring competition, and
yeah,
you
I
know,
think,
we won't go into this right now, but you know, clearly there's been a few other people that we are obviously keeping our eyes on, you know, in regards to retirement, you know. So clearly, you know, I think AJ Styles has been one
yeah,
of them to make it clear, and some others are alluding to it. Recently, I think Shinsuke Nakamura is
yeah.
like teasing something. Samoa Joe supposedly is teasing something. So it's like, oh man, like the generation of like wrestlers that we grew up watching, you know, from across the different brands, they're slowly gonna sell into the sunset here shortly. So it's crazy. It's
When
crazy
we
to
had
see.
what's his name, the Dudleys give up their boots,
Oh yeah, yeah. So
right?
because
So they hung it up.
we're fucking getting old. That's crazy to think how so many of these guys are hanging it up, you know. Hey, but yeah, I think we'll save that for our next one. But again, thank you so much. Jay, I know you jumped on a little bit later, but glad you made it.
Cuzzo.
Cuzzo, we got to get you on the next one. Otherwise, thank you all again for joining us. You know, we greatly appreciate you all. Continue to subscribe, like, follow, comment. You know, we'll hit you back up. It's going to happen. So
Oh,
just be
for
liking.
the people watching, also, who do you like to see John Cena's last match against? And would you like a fantasy booking like with Edge? Let us know in the comments.
Let us fucking know.
CM
Metalingus,
Punk.
motherfuckers. Let's go.